Standard tuning of a guitar is E, A, D, G, B, E. That's how most guitars are set up. I found pretty early on that when my guitar was tuned in E, it wasn't a great place for my voice. Years ago, I just started tuning down a whole step, which makes it a little bit more complicated to transpose, but I think for me, the guitar just lives better a little bit lower. The range of it gets to live in places that my vocal is not. Sometimes I'll go and get a tuning that I think is really interesting and then write 3 songs on it really quickly. And because all of a sudden my normal finger positions are sounding totally different. So I'll get inspired by that and then just run with it. If I feel like I'm stuck, then I'll take a guitar that is in Nashville tuning and get this very chimey, pretty world. In Nashville tuning, the lowest 4 strings are tuned up 1 whole octave, so that all of a sudden I have a new little sonic landscape to explore and discover. And things sound different because octaves are in different places, so the voicing of the chord is going to be different because where the notes were, some of them might be in flipped octaves. So you got this pretty... in the neck. If I'm stuck on something, I'll either go to different tunings to play the same thing, or I will tune my guitar in sort of unexpected ways. Sometimes I just will go to random tunings.
Let's try an open D tuning. I'm tuning the strings to D, A, D, G, A, D, also known as dadgad.
And this is an open tuning, but all of a sudden you have like the same shapes have a different tonality. It's different harmonically, and it's suddenly the familiar becomes the unfamiliar to you, which is always exciting. Always prepare to be pleasantly surprised. There's something called glam tuning, which is when you tune everything on the guitar to the same note. It'll be in different octaves, but it's all the same note. Definitely made popular during the glam rock era. So the guitar, pitchy as it is all tuned to 1 note. Everything is an E. And I first kind of thought about this because I played with a guy named Glenn Branca, who was famous downtown New York musician, composer, and I played in his orchestra for 100 guitars. There were 80 guitars and there were 20 basses, and everyone was going... Then it created this crazy massive sound, because the exciting thing about this is it's natural chorus, because you have, even though the guitar is all tuned to the same note, there's going to be fluctuations within those notes. So you're going to get this like woozy sound no matter what. Even if you, this is this guitar totally clean. And what happens is when the notes, when the frequencies are very close together, they kind of bounce off of one another and create that kind of spacey sound. So that was a technique I used on the solo for Mass Seduction, which was that world. Something like that. Along the lines of playing guitars with different tunings, you can not only change the relationship between the strings, but you can also play guitars that are tuned way down or really high. This is a baritone acoustic guitar, and what makes it sound different from other guitars is that it's tuned down to a B, and it has flat wounds on it. So there are two different kinds of strings. One is round wounds, and then one are flat wounds. And flat wounds are a lot of times known as a jazz string because they have a more muted tone. But they sound really beautiful in a lot of different contexts. And it almost has almost like a cello-esque sound. And it's just a really more delicate approach. Again, I play with my fingers a lot. I used to watch my uncle play guitar, and he's the world's best fingerstyle jazz guitar player. So I would just watch him play and try to pick up bits about his technique. I like to keep have a thumb that's able to sort of comp bass parts or be really dexterous. Wherever you are, up 12 frets, there will be a harmonic. There are natural harmonics on the guitar at the 5th, 7th, and 12th frets, but you can do what's called artificial harmonics, which is you put your fingers on the fretboard, and then 12 frets up from that you go, and you've got a harmonic. You could do like a little pretty little thing. You could be like, that's a fun trick, and you can also play with the naturally occurring harmonics on the fretboard, which would be like, oh, here's a fun one. And create entire melodies out of those harmonics, just with tuning and a light touch. You just have to have a light touch with it. Right now, I'm kind of falling back in love with the guitar as in its kind of purest form, in the not affected, not trying to be anything else, just kind of going back to some of my favorite guitar playing that is just really fluid and wiggly and playing as softly as possible to get the most tone, and long bends, like really just really super bendy and trying to get as much emotion out of one note as possible. Just very fluid things that go like this instead of things that go like this.